How go go go. How sanbonan. How sanbonane. Sanbonani dumelang igama lami uKarabo Dynamite Nyalungu. The leadership that led the leader to the leading lead. Today I want to be emotional. Today I want to speak about something I took offense. During the week. I took offense in during the week. And yeah, grammar will leave me as I express my points. Yeah, English will not be friendly with me. Sometimes when you speak from a point of frustration, a point of discomfort, a point of yeah, offense, you realize that mhlamba you are this offended because you're not playing a role, and it's time you step in to play a role. And I want to speak about representation. I want to speak about how pissed off I am by people who are wannabes in the leadership fraternity. You cannot call yourself a leader and be in a room filled of opportunities, and they ask you about your township. You mention teenage pregnancy. You mention poverty. You mention unemployment. You mention illiteracy. You can't. In a room filled of opportunities, what you should be talking about is how the people in that community will be able to accept project X and Y, work with it, and change the community for a better community. And positively impact that community. You can't be speaking about the social ills as if they are exclusive to that community. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to be political and speak about the government, the ruling party, whatever. No, I don't want to get there. I want to speak about this train of thought that we need to change, this mindset that we need to change, this paradigm that we need to shift as people who are community people. I don't understand what makes people think them and the community are mutually exclusive. When you fill a form and say 0162 as your postal code, you are affected, you are within, you are in that community. You can't be mentioning problems as if when you are exclusive, you are excluded from those problems. You can't be in a room full of opportunities, and you mention our incompetence because of teenage pregnancy, high illiteracy, unemployment, as if those things are a Dobsonville problem, a Soweto problem, a Mamelodi problem. That is a national crisis. And probably the place where you were called to represent ikas lakho, to represent your family, or to represent yourself, the aim of that whatever thing, whatever institution, is to bring about change. But they want to see that amongst the ills that you live in, umqondo wakho unjani? How do you regard this community? You want to speak about teenage pregnancy. You want to speak about unemployment, poverty, and crime. They are not exclusive to your township. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to dismiss people's realities from those social ills. I'm saying to you, it's a national crisis. And when you are in a room filled of opportunities, as someone who was able to overcome those social ills and be presented with an opportunity to be in a room filled of other opportunity, you cannot be mentioning our social ills or just as a team. What you should be mentioning is how you can convince those people. What you should be doing is convincing those people to bring projects that will uplift the community of where you come from, so that we change the paradigm of the people where you come from. You can't be mentioning our social ills as if we are a non-progressive township. That really pisses me off. When you speak about Nelmapias, I think maybe there was a point, where when you, as a leader, mhlambe, when you were able to identify the problems that Nelmapias had, maybe we would clap hands for you. Maybe there was a point. In this day and age, you can't be mentioning problems of Nelmapias. When they ask you about Nelmapias, out of everything that's happening in Nelmapias, you want to mention the social ills that are not exclusive to Nelmapias and use them to hinder everything else that is good out of Nelmapias. You can't be. There are so many role models in Nelmapias. Anyone who tells you that there are no role models in Nelmapias, they are not looking the right direction. Let us not discredit the hunger of the youth in Nelmapias. Let us not discredit the hunger of the people in Nelmapias in the fields of business, entertainment industry, and everything else that makes them earn a living. And put that and reduce that to something that is not worth mentioning. When they ask you about your kasi, the first thing you mention is the problems of that kasi. I hate that. I hate that. Because there are people who work day in and day out, attempting to shift the paradigm of people. Or when you want to mention the social ills. And we are not saying they don't exist. We are saying provide solution, practical solution. Before you mention how ill this society is, don't exclude yourself. Tell us about how are you playing a role in mitigating these problems. Because all of us know that there are these problems. And I'm fighting for my business to work so that I alleviate unemployment in my kasi. I'm fighting for my music career to work so that we can host concerts that are going to empower the young people of Ekasi. When you mentioned teenage pregnancy, but you are not the ambassador of contraceptives in that kasi. You are not the person who says, government, Mina, I'm ready. I'll be the face of contraceptives because we can't say to young people don't have sex. It's happening. We can't say that, but at least let us advocate for safe sex and I'll be the face of it. You won't be it. You can't raise your armpit and say I'm available. Because you will think about, they will look at me and say, hey, Mina, I'm promoting sex. You imagine in a taxi, you are not a leader, you're a coward. You are able to identify problems. You are failing to come up with solutions. And then you want to come and paint our kasi as a bad kasi, as if you are having problems that are mutually exclusive to everyone. We can't be having that. We can't be having that. There are so many people who are working hard in Nelmapias. There are so many role models in Nelmapias. You can't be talking about Nelmapias and talk about it as if it's non-progressive. Maybe let's talk about the progress in Nelmapias. And I'm using Nelmapias because it's a point of reference for me. When I say Nelmapias, think about your Soweto, your Dobsonville, your Deep Kloof, your Pier, your Mapetla, wherever you come from in a township. Think about that. In the Nelmapias where I come from, there's a 4-way street every Saturday and Sunday. Every weekend, it's packed. It's a market. What does it tell you about people in Nelmapias? We don't see raining babies there. Before you mention teenage, we don't see raining babies. We see entrepreneurship there. There's a skill center in Nelmapias. There's a library in Nelmapias. There's a school that is a full ICT school. And since that school has been operating, the marks of the learners from that school have been highly escalated to a point where one of our learners was a representative in the national learners, the ones that are called, those A+ learners, matric learners with the minister. One of them was that. And it is because of the progress that's happening with the introduction of that school. There's a black-owned bottle store. Before you tell me that it's alcohol, it's ruining it's black-owned. Look at the revenue that alcohol produces in the economy. And that bottle store is black-owned. There's a power couple in Nelmapias who are designers, July Vilakasi. Google him. And you want to talk about Nelmapias and mention teenage pregnancy out of the many people who are working hard. There's a lady called Valentine, was top 15, I think, top 10 in Idols, a very big platform. Do you realize how much of a paradigm shifter that being shortlisted, that thing was for the people in her street, for the people in Nelmapias, for the people who know her. Do you realize how much that is a push, that is a confident boost? You want to talk about our kasi and you mentioned the social ills. There's a young man at Extension 3 in Nelmapias, Tosca Molemani, was nominated for an award called Male of the Year. I'm not sure with the category, but that award was won by the likes of Emmanuel Bonoko. Google the man, a man of that caliber, and our very own Tosca was nominated among those people. Excuse me. And you want to mention how non-progressive our kasi is because of the social ills that are not exclusive to us as a kasi, that are a national crisis. No, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Before we mention Okarabo Taina, there's a young man, Shuffle Music, who's worked with the Limpopo's finest, KG, Master KG. You can't now. Master KG is the big thing. Is a big musician now. He got a feature with that gentleman, and that gentleman resides in Nelmapias. You wanna speak about how non-progressive we are? There's a society. Stokfela in Nelmapias of I think it's gentlemen. The last time I checked, it was a excuse me exclusive gentlemen Stokfel, where they own property. They help each other buy property. You wanna speak about Nelmapias and you mention the social ills? Come on, you can't be doing that. Ujesa team. Speak about how competent the youth are. There are so many brands that come out of Nelmapias. It's not like we are chilling there and we complacent about things that are not only problems to us but problems to the whole world. You can't be doing that. Why is it in an interview you mention how good you are and you mention how much of a hard worker you are? When you talk about your family, you don't mention the problems that you have as a family. But the people you are talking to, they understand that every family has a problem. When you talk about your kasi, yes, you just go for the social ills. You ignore everything we do to work hard and empower that kasi. You can't be doing that. Ujesa team, and you want to claim to be an ambassador of hope and positivity of that kasi. The minute you do that, what you are saying to us is, when you are the better crop of Ikaslet. You are the better. When you are special, you were able to overcome those things. Yeah, you are special. You are not special. There are many people who are still overcoming the things that you overcame as well. So it goes to show that you are not the only one. You are not God's favorite child. There are people who are as competent as you. There are people who are as disciplined as you. You cannot be in a platform full of opportunities and you want to dismiss all of those people's hard work and you mention the social ills of Ikaslet. Yeah, girl. Once. There are some places I don't know, but I know figures, and I know that if such a figure was to go back to this kasi and pull up an event, people will pull up in so many numbers. And this is not because wherever this person goes, they mention the social ills of Ikas Lab. When you hear about Spue Shabalala, you think about Piri. That's me. When I think about Piri, I think Spue Shabalala. I know that if Spue Shabalala was to launch something at Piri, he'll be highly supported. And it is not because he goes around telling people that there's no electricity at Piri or whatever social ills that they are faced with. Because he understands that is not a problem that is exclusive to Piri. It's a national crisis. When you think about the Eastern Cape, you cannot not think about Zozibini Tunzi. When you think about excuse me, Mtanzani, I think about Makazole Mapimpi, from the Springboks. When I think about Wattville, I think about Vosetembe Kwayo. And it is not because Wattville, Piri, Mtanzani doesn't have all those social ills. It is because against all odds, there are people who are constantly making sure that they're on top of their game to come back and give back to that kasi. There are people working hard, ignoring what's happening that could be hindering their successes, but staying focused and dedicated to the cause so that the next time they get to take on a platform, they remember to give back to that kasi and empower people from there. You can't be speaking so ill about our township. Come on. We have so many people, when I think Mamelodi, I think about so many news anchors that are in household radios that are from Mamelodi. Yeah, your Obrima Sango, your Nompumelelo Mgubani. They're from Mamelodi. We have a stadium in Mamelodi. We have Mamelodi Sundowns, Miss Mamelodi, our very own Miss Mamelodi Sundowns. The first princess is from Mamelodi. We have a football team in Mamelodi that continues to take little by little. Girls from Mamelodi, something that is not familiar, something that is not yet in the same caliber as the male teams. But it's doing well. We talk about the likes of Lekhokonola Mashego in Mamelodi, who are part of a team that is brilliant, that is creating a lifestyle, that is slowly but surely taking girls from the township and exposing them to the betterment of life. You want to mention teenage pregnancy? Come on. We are working so hard, so hard. There are so many authors now in Mamelodi because we've seen someone do it. And when those people are asked about their township, they don't speak about their ills. They don't speak about what we lack. They don't speak about our incompetence. They go there, they speak about the hopes, the vision they have for Mamelodi. They speak about the hopes, the vision they have for their kasi. And that is what grants you is sponsorship. Because it tells us that there are so many people who are like you, and it's our duty to go out there and find them and rescue them from these social ills. You are not special. You are not the only one. But we are not going to see that if when you present our kasi, you're going to mention the social ills. As you can see, I'm very emotional about this. But in a room full of opportunities, be very careful of the pink thing that resides in your tongue. The pink thing that resides in your mouth, and that is your tongue. How you say things, to whom you say things, for what? What are you answering in saying things? Ojesa team. There are people who devote their time, their work, their resources in making Nelmapias, Mamelodi, Dobsonville, Deep Kloof, every other kasi, a better kasi. There are people who devote their time towards that. Do not discredit the progress they make continuously, because when you choose to speak about the social ills when asked about your community, your township. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. So when you are in a room filled of opportunities and it's 2020 and you are a leader, if you feel the need to stress the problems of that society, of that community, of that township, don't forget the solutions, practical solutions. And how are you actively involved in mitigating the problems you're speaking about? It's high time we hold each other accountable. This thing of wanting to sound smart is going to, at the end of the day, kill us, because now you are diminishing, you are dismissing the hard work of the people who continue on a daily basis to devote themselves for the love of that community. You want to speak about teenage pregnancy in a room filled of opportunities. Don't make people think the only thing we know to do is to make babies, such that we cannot be accountable for certain projects that will uplift our community. With that said, remember, this is not an Elmapias and a Mamelodi thing. This is something that, as I speak about my Elmapias and my Mamelodi, think about your Dobsonville, think about your Tembisa, Hammanskraal, so Shanguve. And every time you speak in a room filled of opportunities, you speak good, so that the sponsors and whoever finds it ease to come back and give back in that community. The reason why people of Eastern Cape were able to say, Siya Kolisi, here's something to eat, when he went there with his people there. I don't know what they were doing, but they were doing something good for the community. The reason why people find it so natural to offer food to that man, it's because they know that this man is an icon. This is the man who has changed the paradigm of the young man in wherever his township is. To rise above odds, to rise above the illiteracy, unemployment, poverty, lack of sanitation, and everything that is ill, and make it and win the World Cup. I'm not dismissing realities. I'm saying to you, those problems are not exclusive to your township. We want to know, with those problems, what are the good that your township is able to produce? What are the capabilities? What's the competence that your township has, that when we present such a project, they'll be able to handle it? Don't mention electricity. Don't mention Oscar Jessa team. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a businessman, woman. Don't forget to purchase a copy of Purpose and Dominance 1. It goes for 150 rands. And yeah, don't forget also to purchase your copy of my journal. If you think Purpose and Dominance one, the price is a bit steep. This one is 130 rands. And what I like about it, it's that it does not have a date. And this simply means we are not confining you to achieve your dreams, or rather exerting pressure at you to achieve your dreams at a specific time. We acknowledge and accommodate individual pace, and we are advocates of that. And if you think that's a bit steep, get yourself a sticker of Purpose and Dominance. Put this on your laptop, on your mirror, on your phone, on your calculator, to remind you to chase a purpose-driven life filled by the desire to dominate. Ladies and gentlemen, igama lami uKarabo Dynamite Nyalungu. Yaba emotional le video. Sign out.